Good evening, StreamYard and YouTube users. This is Philip Reynolds, and happy Father's Day. I have to say that last night I played two games, and I wish I would have taped the first game because the first game was so close. It went to the final minute, and even at the final minute, it was that close. I really thought the game was going to go to overtime, and I was going to have to uh, shuffle up the cards and pull out four cards, but it didn't. I still have not had a game go to overtime. I've had a game go into the final minute, but not overtime. As you see, I played games 3 and 4. I played Chicago versus Boston, and this was a North versus Midwest team. Um, and this one was, like I said, it was crazy. This went down to the final minute. Just to show you what I'm talking about, um, Love from Chicago had eight of 17 points. Yeah, 8 of 17 points. And the second best player on Chicago had 4 of 17 points. Sorry. And for Boston, Russell, yeah, and that is Bill Russell, had 8 of 18 points, and his second best person had 4 points as well. And kind of what I wanted to show you. Oh, and just in case you're curious, I've been writing the scorecard as you see it right here. Uh, Chicago, at the end of the first quarter, it was Boston 5-4, and Boston led 43-39. At halftime, it was 9-7. Boston led 77-74. At the end of the third quarter, it was 13-10. Boston was leading 112-105. In the fourth quarter, it was 17-15, and it was 146-143. In the final minute, it was 18-17, and you would think that was a losing score, but what happened is Chicago had 7 free throws to Boston's 1 free throw. So as a result, Chicago won 157-156. That's right, 157-156. 1 point separated these two teams, and it came down to free throws. And I wanted to show you something. I do know how to. I wish somebody would come up with a chart that showed the actual points a person makes for for a game. It'd be nice, but you'd have to have like 19 charts, because you'd have to have a 0 chart, a 1 chart, all the way up to 19 or 20. But I wanted to show you this. Love, as you see, made 8 of the 17 points for Chicago. Now, they had 157 points. You have to subtract the free throws. The first thing you do is you subtract the free throws, and as you'll see, there were 7. So that means that Chicago scored 150 points. Well, you say, well, how does that translate into points? Well, what you do is you take the 8, you divide it by 17 in this case, and what it means is that Love had 47% of the scoring points. And what you do then is you multiply that times 150. And you get 70.5. Now you drop what's behind the dot. So that basically means that Love had 70 points. Okay. And then you do that for the same way for the rest of the players. Van Leer had 4 of the he had 4 of the 17 points, which means he had 23%. And you multiply that by 150, which means he had 35 points. Those 2 players alone combined account for 105 of the 150 points, minus the free throws, of course. They account for 105 of the 150 total possible points. And you would do the same with the other side as well. And that's how you come up with your point totals. A lot of math involved. I really don't like to do that. It's a little time consuming, but that's how you figure out point totals. And I wanted to show that to you all. But we had this one, like I said, it went down to the final minute. I actually thought that this was possibly going to go to overtime, but it was 157-156 in favor of Chicago. So there's going to be a big rivalry between Chicago and Boston. And after 3 games, no injuries, and not a single all-time greatest player has been introduced into the game. And the 4th game was the Cincinnati Royals versus the Baltimore Blue Crabs. And this one was pretty much, well, we'll go over the scoring. In the first quarter, Baltimore had 5, Cincinnati had 1. It was 37-21. At halftime, it was Baltimore 7, Cincinnati 5, 59-55, sorry. In the third quarter, it was 9-8 in favor of Baltimore, and it was 82-80. That's as close as Cincinnati got the entire game. And finally, in the fourth quarter, it was 14-11 in favor of Baltimore with a final score of 123-114. For Baltimore, you had Howell and Johnson both had 6 of the possible 14 points. So which means they both had 42%. And basically, they had 4 free throws. So you subtract that from 123. That means that you multiply that times 119. And each one of them had 51 points. So Howell had 51, Johnson had 51, and the other person that scored was Bell. Which he had 11%, which means he had 13 points. And if you were to add the 51 and 51, that's 102, plus the 115 is, plus the 13. So 51 and 51 is 102, plus the 13, which makes 115. And you have to add 4 to Bell's score there. And that accounts for the free throws. So that's exactly what the... Oh, just a second. That's my girl. I will be back. Hey, girl. Hello? Hey, how's it going? No, I'm not at church. I was doing a video, but that's all right. I was just we went to one of Beverly's aunt's house. They had a birthday party going on this afternoon. Kid, kid's birthday party. I wish we would have gone to church because they had like a dinner after church tonight. But we didn't get to go. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the next time we get to see each other. Maybe we'll get to go to the House of Orange or check out that gaming place. Either one, I'd like to try out. Yeah. But where are you at? Where are you at in Florida? Huh? No, New Smyrna Beach. Okay. Well, I'm glad that you're okay. I know that you arrived okay because I saw your the thing that said that you arrived in Orlando and that. Uh, so, but how long are you going to be there? till Saturday. Okay. Well, you just have fun and enjoy yourself, and huh? Yeah. And know that I love and miss you. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Because I did watch the important part of the FC Cincinnati game. Guy almost got killed at the end of that first half. He was like 2 inches from the goalie and scored, and that was the end of the scoring. They didn't. Neither team scored in the second half, so it was a draw. So, but that one guy almost. Oh, he was literally like on the practically. He wasn't when he kicked the ball. He was like 2 inches from the line, and he got ringed in the face, really bad. So, well, you take care. I love you, and just get in touch with me when you get back. Okay, bye. Sorry about that, guys. Or I should say, sorry about that, guys. That was my daughter calling me to wish me a happy Father's Day. But I just wanted to show you the math, a little bit of the math behind actually figuring out points for players. That's the math. I just wish somebody would come up with charts because just to do this for one game would take me 15, 20, take me probably a half hour or so. A lot more time than I got. I will say this that one of Baltimore's players, Green, he was a sub. Um, he was taken out due to injury, and he is out for 6 games, which means that instead of having 5 subs, Baltimore now has 4 subs. Um, and still, as of game 4, no all-time greatest players has made a team's lineup yet. Um, my next game will be St. Louis and Philadelphia, and what I want to do is I want to roll a lot of the what is it the Brave Conference games offline. Yeah, I want to roll a lot of the Brave Conference offline, which would be the North and the Midwest, and I want to focus more on the Rebels Conference, which is the East and West, because this is where a lot of the Blam teams, teams that are fantasy generated players, and that uh, where they come from. The exception of this would be Kentucky, of course, and Cincinnati, especially if these happen to be home games. Um, but I rolled the Chicago and Boston offline. Highest scoring game that I've had so far, 157 and 156, favor of Chicago. And then the final for the Cincinnati and Baltimore game was 123 to 119. I've only had one game go into overtime so far, and only one player has been injured. That is Green for Baltimore. He has to sit out 6 games. My next game, which will be rolled, which I want to roll offline, is between St. Louis Cardinals and the Philadelphia Freedom. My next game that I want to televise is the Carolina Canes versus the Louisiana Cajuns. So far in the North Division, the Buffalo Braves 0-1, the Boston Minutemen 0-1, and the Baltimore Blue Crabs are 1-0. In the Midwest, we have the Kentucky Legends 1-0. We have the Chicago Bulls 1-0, and we have the Cincinnati Royals 0-1. In the Rebel Division, we've only had one game there, and that's the Nashville Mountain Men versus the Houston Admirals. The Nashville Mountain Men are 1-0, and nobody else in that Eastern Division Conference has played yet. And in the West, the Houston Admirals are 0-1, and nobody else has played in the Western Division yet. Your next game that I will televise live here will be the Carolina Canes and the Louisiana Cajuns, which should be really interesting. And I'm hoping that Shaquille O'Neal will possibly get a chance to be one of the first players to actually play. And I'm talking all-time greatest players. No all-time greatest players has yet surfaced as a sub for any team yet, which means that I may make a change and allow the all-time greatest players to be a 3 through 5 slot in the substitution. But we will see how that goes. Like I said, I want to focus more on the East-West games because that's where the Blam teams are, with the exceptions of the Kentucky Legends and the Cincinnati Royals, for obvious reasons, and that's because I'm in Kentucky and I'm near Cincinnati, and it'll be interesting to see how things pan out. And until next time, guys, this is Philip Reynolds, and this, I believe, is episode 195. Yes, it's episode 195, which means I have 5 more episodes until episode 2000. I'd like to have some of my friends, Rob, Chris Strat Delaware, Chris Hawes, Al Red Sox fan, Steve Hightower, Sportsman Z. I'd love for you guys to come on and talk with me, talk sports, what you like, what you don't like, what you think of my channel, what you like, what you don't like. Subscribe, turn on notifications, make comments, and have fun out there playing. Definitely try to play by the rules as much as possible. Play with integrity, play with heart, and teach others the game. That's what it's all about. Until next time, Philip Reynolds signing off.